Another excuse that trolls like Mark Anthony and shit like to tout is that, oh, you're just jealous, Jim Prophet, of rich people's success. Well, so what? So what if I am? I have nothing to apologize about. I admit that I am bitter about there being a few select people in this world that make a whole shit ton of money that they don't need, that they could still be rich and just not be as grotesquely rich if they made, a lot less than I would working my ass off. I mean, look at it like this. The average super rich person would say something like, well, I work hard too. No. See, whatever work you do is nothing compared to what the poor person has to do. Let's say that you, as one of those kinds of 1% types, makes good investments, makes intelligent decisions with your money, and things like that. That's work, I admit that. It's tenacity, it's patience, it's being at the right place at the right time, taking advantage of good opportunities, but at the end of the day, you rely more so on thinking and luck than you do on actually busting your ass. Whereas the person that you probably have under your employment, under your payroll, is working 10 or 12 hours a day, 6 or even 7 days a week, just to make a piddly amount that you would never want to conceive having to live on. That's why a lot of rich people kill themselves. When a stock market crashes and rich people have to think that, oh God, I might have to be poor, they jump out of a fucking building. People would rather die than be poor. And you know what? A lot of those poor people continue on living, working while being poor. Don't fucking tell me about how the rich people work and how Jim Prophet is just jealous. Because they wouldn't be jumping out of buildings when their stock market crashes if being poor wasn't that bad. If at the end of the day, the difference between a rich person and a poor person was just rich people have a little more money in their bank account. No, they have all the power in the world, and they exploit that power, and they don't give a fuck what happens to us. They don't give a fuck that most people will bust their ass not for 10 years, not even for 20 years, but for 30 or 40 or even 50 years and praying to God that they can collect that Social Security check. That's what most people have to go through. And you're gonna fucking tell me that it's just about jealousy. You're going to demean and degrade the vast majority with this issue of how everyone's just butt mad and angry because some people were successful because they're smarter. What? Fuck you. I mean, seriously, fuck you. And you're so stupid and self-loathing that, you are in this position too. You are just as poor as the rest of us, but you're looking down on us rather than, at least having some kind of hatred for the very people that put you in this position. If you have to be poor, you shouldn't have to work. It's just that simple. You should not have to work hard if you have to go around being fucking poor and not having anything anyway. And even what I call the middle class, the petty bourgeois, the lawyers, the doctors, etc., they did have to authentically work to get where they are. But they didn't have to work nearly as hard or as long as poor people. In order to become a doctor or a lawyer, you have to go to school. And you have to go to school for like 10, 11 years. And yeah, that's work. You had to give up on a lot of beer pong games. You had to give up on sex with slutty college women. You had to give up a lot of things to get where you are. But after that, it's pretty much set from there. After that, you're pretty much done, and you have a lot of money in your pocket. But for most people, that's not the case. They will continually work for the rest of their lives. And you're going to tell me that we should not be bitter toward those people. You're going to tell me that we should not take every opportunity to laugh at a doctor's expense when they get a frivolous lawsuit, even though, at the end of the day, not only are they richer, not only are they more happy and successful with their lives, but they also don't get as much blame. When a doctor sells prescription drugs to a drug addict, who goes to jail? Does the doctor go to jail? No. It was the person that did the drugs. Why? If the doctor is the one with the leverage and the power and, is in control of those means of production to make that kind of call who does and doesn't get prescription drugs? Shouldn't it be them who goes to jail? Of course not. Because the doctor work hard. We need the doctors. Oh, we'd all be dead without doctors. Or some bullshit. Who fucking cares? They committed the crime. They're the evil one. But no, it's the poor that suffers. That's the only reason why the poor exist. To take the burden of rich people's mistakes. And with attorneys, it's even worse. Now, I'll be the first one to say it. I'm glad there are attorneys for our civil liberties to defend us when we need defending in courtrooms and to protect our rights to some extent. Their vernacular, their study of the law, helps preserve our rights, sometimes. But first and foremost, they're there for the money. They're there to be the lapdogs of corporate elite. And we don't get the luxury of lawyers. We don't get the benefits that comes with their being lawyers. Lawyers exist for the rich. And, lawyers don't even have to worry about the frivolous lawsuits of doctors and shit. About the worst that happens to a lawyer is they're the butt of everybody's joke, and at the dinner table during Christmas, they're probably the most hated family member. Ooh, what a terrible, terrible fucking life. That's why I hate rich people, and I make no apologies for that. If a girl were to fall in love with me and she were to be super rich, I would take advantage of that and mooch off her, and I would not feel 1 ounce of guilt for it. Because fuck the rich. That's all I have to say.